whatever neighborhood is in need of, we got something in our toolbox to be able to help them.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve Stoller.
And I'm Shauna Haley, and this is Inside Plano, where we take you behind the scenes of our city.
We'll introduce you to the faces and places who help make this a great place to live.
And give us lots of reasons to love Plano. Well, hello, Steve Stoller.
Hello, Shauna.
It is August in Plano. You wouldn't know it from the heat, although, for those who are watching our video version, we're actually sitting here with the wind blowing our locks, and it's actually an unseasonably cool day, and I am here for it.
Yes. Isn't this commonly referred to as the dog days of summer?
Yes.
In August?
Yes, and your dogs and my dog are not enjoying the heat, and I'm sure the kids who are heading back to school this month are sad that the dog days also mean return to school. But it'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and we hope everybody's had a wonderful summer. We got a lot of things that went on. We had, of course, Plano's 150th birthday.
Yes.
We had the All-American 4th. We've got people still going to all of our outdoor pools, our fabulous libraries. So it's a nice time of year. My favorite time of year, as always, summer.
Exactly. That's because you're a sun person and you like being out at the pool.
Yes.
I am constantly doing shade-seeking behavior, and as a girl from Kansas, I have to say there is no place like home for doing shade-seeking behavior too in my own backyard. And one thing that I've really loved, and it really started with the pandemic, was getting to know my neighbors. And so we have a really close-knit neighborhood now. We've had a lot of neighbors turnover, and it's kind of like a little bit of a family. And as the weather cools down, I think it's a good time for all of us to think about how can we get to know our neighbors a little better, and how can we build a stronger, better neighborhood. Because, hey, I'm going out for walks with Glory B again because the weather is finally okay.
Well, I know there's no place like home, but
Yes.
we're not going to ask you to click your heels 3 times. But there is a reason, of course, Shauna, why we're talking about
Absolutely.
home today. And there's a reason why we're here in Shawnee Park. We're with Keisha Cyriaano, our neighborhood engagement manager, to join us for a conversation about neighborhoods and a very important program, Love Where You Live. Welcome, Keisha.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You know, we always ask the people that we're interviewing, we start out by having them tell us something about themselves that we don't know. So what is it about you?
What is it about me? Well, I'll just tell a little bit about myself. So I'm from Kentucky originally. Been in Texas for almost 5 years. One fact that I think is cool, I don't know if y'all think it's cool, that I have right now. So my husband and I, we have a 16-year-old son, busy with basketball, and then we also have a 2-year-old daughter who's getting used to preschool right now. So my life right now is interesting, trying to mother a teenager and a toddler at the same time. So I'm enjoying it though.
Wonderful.
As the oldest by many years in my family, I can definitely relate to that. And there's nothing like having a very young sibling, so it's a great thing for your son.
Keisha, we always like to say that our Plano staff is the best. But in your case, we're talking things that are quite literal. Tell us what best neighborhoods are all about.
So best neighborhoods, I would say I have the best team. It's 6 of us, so BEST stands for beautiful, engaged, safe, and thriving. And so our team really digs deep and tries to create more engaged, more connected neighborhoods throughout Plano. We have a team that's focused. We have broken up the city into 4 parts, and each of my team members has a slice to engage and connect with those neighborhoods. We have several different programs that we use to help our neighborhood leaders, from training, neighborhood workshops and roundtables. We have tools for grant money to help beautify their communities or help to increase with engagement, buying games, welcome baskets. I know, Shauna, you mentioned you've had new neighbors come in, and so we have a grant program that neighbors can take advantage of to actually create welcome baskets for their new neighbors. 2 of our most popular activities, I'd say, is our pop-up party trailer, where people do that to have block parties, and pop-up theater for movie nights. So whatever neighborhood is in need of, we got something in our toolbox to be able to help them.
Well, Keisha, why is it harder for some neighborhoods than others to have involved neighbors? Or maybe I should say it this way, why is it easy for some neighborhoods to be really involved and engaged with one another?
I would say it's probably twofold, right? So you have some neighborhoods. We know Plano has an aging population. So I would venture to say most of our neighborhood groups that are registered with us, a lot of their board members are retired, so they have time. So they're more engaged, more connected, still want to be involved in their community. And then there's some neighborhoods, like the one we're in now, with a lot of working families, right? So they're at work, or in my case, have teenagers playing sports, or a toddler they're dealing with, so maybe not be able to have as much engagement or connectivity in their neighborhoods. But we've been trying to figure out different ways. I know with COVID, it was social. So there may not be a lot of in-person, but there was a lot of social connectivity that was able to happen with the neighborhoods that are typically harder to reach.
Well, like we said, we're here at Shawnee Park in the middle of a neighborhood that's full of working families. So we're here to talk about the Love Where You Live program. What is it?
So Love Where You Live was started in 2010, and it's primarily focused on the city of Plano's older neighborhoods, primarily right around target areas, right around downtown, East Plano. We have a couple in South Central Plano. And so there's two target areas we're trying to focus on. Is physical improvement as well as social. So physical, we have 2 service days a year when we'll have volunteers from all around DFW come out and work on the homes, do minor repairs. Could be painting, fascia, some landscaping, fence repairs, anything on the exterior that a volunteer group could take care of. We also have community-wide cleanups where we encourage the neighbors in the community to also help take care of their neighborhoods as well. On the social side, we have workshops. We had a kickoff right here in this park in May, had over 100 residents come out, lots of fun, dancing, ice cream, food, music, face painting. And so we try to encourage the neighborhood to continue with that as well. So one hope that we have with this is if there's a neighborhood group, we want to strengthen it. If there's not, we want to help to build one through our social activities.
What does the life cycle of Love Where You Live engagement look like? How long do you spend with the neighborhood, and what do you hope the outcomes will be long term?
So we stay in the neighborhood for about a year, and there's a lot of background we do before we even step into a neighborhood. And so throughout the year, that's when we have the service days, and we have the other activities throughout. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, it's kind of several parts of this question. We're talking about what the life cycle of a project, a Love Where You Live project, looks like. How long you spend with the neighborhood, and then what are your hopes for long-term outcomes?
So we're with a neighborhood about a year, sometimes a year and a half. Because what I don't want to do is we're with them in a year. We have these strict goals, so to speak, is what we want to accomplish. But a lot of times on the social side, I say that's what ends up maybe go past a year. So it might be a year and a half. So we don't want to leave a neighborhood hanging, so to speak. So if we have some strong social connections happening, we want to continue to help those board leaders really build their neighborhood group. So as far as impact, what we're hoping is neighbors will begin to help their neighbors, right? Be more engaged, be more connected, be willing to help their elderly neighborhoods. They need help with cutting their grass. Maybe they need help just taking down their Christmas decorations, whatever it is. What we found is we'll go in, we'll have the volunteers come out, we'll do some of the minor repairs, some of that being landscaping, some of that being just the simple cutting of the grass, and then we may come back a few months later and some things still may be a challenge. So we're really trying to push neighbors to really neighbors help with their neighbors, right? And really focus on helping each other so that we can maintain what we've done when we came in the community.
And how old is this program?
13 years.
13 years. So what has the impact been in the last 13 years since Love Where You Live began?
So we've had over 45,000 volunteer hours, with 9,000 volunteers. We've helped over 500 homes, 208 tons of landscape debris, and with trash, we had 143 tons of trash. With that equals approximately 20 elephants. So quite a bit across the city in those neighborhoods that we've been able to have impact. Socially, we've had a few neighborhoods. Some of them had a strong neighborhood group. We just kind of strengthened it. Some didn't, and they have one now. That seems the area we tend to have to work harder on for the same reasons we mentioned before, with the working families and just other activities with young families, small children, just having other things to do and may not be able to have the time to actually engage and connect more in person with their neighborhood. So the social piece, we're always tweaking and trying to figure out what the right mix is, and each neighborhood is different.
So it sounds like I'm sitting here listening to the impact. You know, you're really, in many ways, preserving housing stock. Houses that might age and fall into disrepair, you're able to keep that housing stock alive and available in Plano, which is important, right? Yeah. Okay, so tell us how neighborhoods get selected to be in the program.
Okay, so we've changed it this year.
Okay.
So one thing we want to do is garner more buy-in from neighborhoods. So, but typically what we do, we talk to our departments. We talk to police, we talk to property standards, some of our other outreach departments, see if there's any challenges or issues they're hearing about in our communities. We also, we have a net map, neighborhood enhancement tool, and it looks at property crime, violent crime. Is there high non-compliant property standard cases? 3 or more property standard cases. So we have a map, and where it's the most blue, that's where we try to focus in on. And so other factors will be housing and age of population and those things as well. So we take all that information, me and my team, we go do some drives. And then what we've added that we didn't do before was we sent out an interest form last year. We narrowed it down to 3 neighborhoods, and we did an interest form to see who may be interested in the program. And then we invited those neighborhoods to a meeting.
Okay.
And at that meeting, we asked, why do you think LWYL should come to your neighborhood? What do you love about your community? And so that's how we narrowed it down, and we're back here in Village Creek.
Oh, wow. There was actually a lot of interest then from the community itself, which I think you said the hardest part for you all is building social engagement, social interaction. So you're already kind of front loading that participation.
Yes, and Village Creek is doing great. So they were really excited. They had a cheerleader at that meeting, a firecracker ready to go. And so after the kickoff, we've been meeting with them and trying to help them plan their own event. And they just had one last month that they did themselves.
Oh, man, fantastic. Well, if you're not in a Love Where You Live neighborhood, how can you get involved?
So what's been interesting that we've loved is some of our neighborhood groups in other areas have actually adopted a home and helped with those repairs, or it's volunteered with another group to help with some repairs out in the community, or come out for the community cleanup efforts as well. We've had people come in and assist with those workshops where we talk about crime, we talk about volunteering, a lot of different, based on, we do a survey with the community up front to see what they're in need of. So we've had resource fairs, and we've had community partners come out, health resources, community social services come out and actually provide direct one-on-one interaction with the residents. So it's been
fantastic.
great.
That's cool.
Keisha, there are some people out there that equate a connected community with homeowners associations, HOAs. Is an HOA necessary to have a neighborhood that's busy and involved?
I would say no. And quite frankly, quite a few of our neighborhood groups are not an official HOA, whether it be mandatory or voluntary. We have quite a few neighborhood associations. And a couple years ago, what we noticed is a lot of neighborhoods, when they come to us to get registered, they're doing the block party trailer or the pop-up theater, but they're not an official group. And so what we've created is a group called Neighbors. And so it might be a small group of people that want to get together and just try to start engaging and connecting with their neighborhood. And then from there, it just grows and blossoms. We have a team to kind of walk them through. If they want to be more official, we can help them. But if not, we can help them in that way too. And so it's been great to see just grassroots neighborhoods, residents come together and try to create a group. But no, you do not have to be an official HOA in order to be registered with us or even have an engaged or connected community.
So much of what you and your department does is to build stronger neighborhoods. Why are stronger neighborhoods important to the health of a city like Plano?
I say stronger neighborhoods is the foundation of a city, right? It's the people. And I'm going to answer your question, but one thing I want to say that I noticed when I came to Plano about 5 years ago is how engaged and connected the community was. Like, they would actually give you feedback. They have plenty of opinions, and that's great when you're trying to plan and do things to have that feedback and that input from the community. But it's the base, right? You think about property values, you think about maintenance and taking care of the communities. And so if people love where they live and they love Plano, and Plano has a variety of different neighborhoods, think whatever you're looking for in Plano, we have it. And so I just think it makes a great place to live, great schools, education, all that combined with, of course, economic base. Just makes a strong neighborhood and a strong foundation for the city.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Keisha. I know so much of what you do really does build stronger neighborhoods. It does really have an impact on the city overall. And you know the old saying, home is where the heart is?
Yes.
Well, home is also the place where we feel more ourselves, where we build relationships with our neighbors. So what you're doing is very, very important.
Thank you. I love it.
I bet
I
you
think
do.
I have
I know
the
you
best
do.
job in the city of Plano.
I'm going to say, I feel like I have the best job because we get to bring stories like yours. But I mean, the idea of being out in communities is amazing. And I feel like this is a call to action for everybody who listens to our podcast. Your job is to go meet a neighbor that you don't know already. You need to do that this summer and definitely this month. There are great ideas that Keisha's team has put together and has on their website. So we'll link to those in the show notes. She's mentioned the pop-up party trailer, which is incredibly popular for the block parties. There's also the pop-up theater, so like blow up the theater and you can have a movie night, or you can have a game playing night for the neighborhood, all kinds of options. And so that's also available. We'll put all of those links in the show notes so you can find out how you can get engaged that way. But Keisha, we really do appreciate the work that you and your team does. Steve, you've lived here in Plano for how many years in your neighborhood?
Oh gosh, it's about 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've been in mine for 14. I mean, I think we are Planoites all the way, and we do love where we live. And
Absolutely.
we hope that you all do too. That's a wrap for another episode of Inside Plano. We love to hear from you. You all have been great at sending us questions and feedback for future episodes. So we look forward to hearing from you at askplano@plano.gov. And until September, Steve, that's it for us.
We'll see you soon.
And that's it for our Inside Plano. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did doing it.
If you have any comments or suggestions, send them to us at askplano@plano.gov. Bye.
Talk to you next month. The Inside Plano podcast is brought to you by the City of Plano.